Hi everybody, this is Ginger and this is Ginger's Chat Show. Yes, I just got out of the shower about a half hour ago. Um, I hope all is well. I'm doing this on Edge. Opera has a problem, so I'm using Edges and it's working. Seems to be working okay. Anyway, uh, we're going to be talking today about the idiocy of Trump's cabinet. The Secretary of Agriculture said this. He said those are losing Medicaid and everything else need to work in the fields. Well, there are kids, there are babies, a good majority of them are on Medicaid for a reason. Okay? Medicaid, for those that have been on it, stop at age 65. Or 62, I think it is, somewhere in there, in the early uh, age 60s range. And a lot of them are disabled, okay? And the person who is the Secretary of Agriculture, I go, well, you know what? Fine. Tell you what, you go out and work the fields. You take your whole crew, your whole team, and go out and work the fields, okay? You need to look at the other side of life. Uh, the Secretary of Agriculture is an idiot, among all the other cabinet idiots. Trump picks unqualified people that don't know how things work. He doesn't even know how things work, okay? And so I'm really sick and tired of the stupidity and idiocy of his cabinet, okay? There's a right way and wrong way to do things, and right now they're doing the wrong things. Okay? Um, Medicaid was created for a reason. It's created for younger people and those up into their close to their middle 60s to use Medicaid. And those that are able to can transfer over to Medicare. Okay, those after 65 could go to Medicare. I'm on Medicare. And more of the hospitals here in Washington State are getting together and they're working to help each other out. Okay? Because the staff shortages and everything else, which this has got to stop. Okay? They're not endangering you and me, but they're also endangering themselves by doing this. Okay? Things come in full circle. And that's the part they don't get. And so the Secretary of Agriculture needs to be told, fine, tell you what, you go out and work the fields. You go to every field, every farm in the U.S. and work the fields. Take your whole team with you. Work the fields. The kids and the babies can't do it because they don't know how. And they're not strong enough to do it. And many of them are disabled. Either through birth, through accidents, through severe illness, that type of thing. They can't do it. So what part they can't, that Secretary of Agriculture cannot understand? That is my pet peeve right there. It really angers me when you hear stupid statements like that come from so-called professionals that don't want to see the other side. Now, As you noticed, and Midas Touch has been staying on top of this, Trump is literally falling apart. He is, many of his cabinet members try to stay away from him because he puts out an odor. The guy doesn't take care of himself. I'm surprised his caretaker doesn't throw him in a shower and scrub him. Okay? Um, and I think now the cabinet needs to remove him from office. Okay? They need to grow a spine and remove him from office. Sure, some of the cabinet members are diehard Trump followers, but they need to wake up. Okay? They're endangering the country by enabling this idiot. And Trump is an idiot. Noam's an idiot. Bondi's an idiot. They don't know how law enforcement works. They never been in law enforcement. If they want to do a promotion, they need to promote from within. The professionals that work this type of job every day in law enforcement, not somebody from the outside. Okay? Now, from what I understand from Bondi, she wants to investigate Christopher Wray and some of the other previous directors of the DOJ for crimes supposedly committed. Well, I'll tell you what, Bondi, you're the one that's been committing crimes. You've been not following the Constitution. And everybody deserves due process. You know what? I'd like to see you get arrested and denied due process and see what you think. Okay? This is how bullies need to learn. When it's done to them, they will learn a very harsh lesson. Because they've been harsh and cruel to other people. They need to be given the same treatment and see what happens. And then, as I said, the cabinet needs to remove Trump. Congress needs to grow a spine and remove Trump. He's endangering everybody and their constituents. Well, some say, well, MAGA doesn't care and everything else. Well, MAGAs are a bunch of idiots. And they're bullies too, because Trump has been giving them license to do whatever they want. Now, good thing I'm glad to see is people rising up, pushing back against ICE, and also preventing ICE from taking people off the streets. And there are some, depends on what state and everything else, there are police departments that are arresting ICE. Arresting them, putting them in jail, and say, nope, kidnapping is a federal offense. It's a felony. And you know what? Bondi should be jailed for that too, because she's instigating it. So, it really upsets me when you people sit there and condone a bully. And Trump's a bully. He's not a president. He doesn't act like a president. He's a bully. And bullies need to be removed. They need to be put in jail. Frankly, Trump needs to be in a mental hospital for the criminally insane. I can't understand why the cabinet won't do what they're supposed to do. They see something obvious, especially in their cabinet meeting. And I think Vance needs to grow a spine and say, You know, he needs to stop being afraid. Put his foot down. Because back in 1973, and this is for those that are not born yet then, when Nixon was trying to pull a similar stunt, except he wasn't like Trump. Of course, except the only difference was that President Nixon was a trained lawyer. He knew the law, okay? But also, he knew how things worked. Well, he tried a similar thing, and the cabinet told him, go, nope. Either that, you're going to be impeached. Resign or be impeached. Now, Spiro Agnew, who was the vice president then, he was indicted for tax evasion and I think one other charge. I can't remember what it was. But it was pretty serious. It was a felony charge. Well, he resigned and he ultimately went to prison. Because the Republicans back then believed in law and order. Now, this group here, they should be believing in law and order too, but they're not. For whatever reason, I would suspect that maybe Trump has been blackmailing them. I think that's what's happening. And that's why they're so scared of him. Well, in the end, you know what happens to blackmailers when they keep doing this? Karma will bite them. It'll bite them hard. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and see you on Friday. I don't have anything on Friday. And also, so you know, I'm officially shut down my store. So I'm focusing on this. And I'm working to get my count up to 1,000 subscribers. So please like and subscribe my channel. And we could talk about anything. You could put it suggestions. What would you like to talk about? And I could put that in my next chat. Because we need to have discussions like this. What we need to do. Now, there are those that I saw comments stating, well, this is not going to work and that's not going to work. And I go, that's telling me that you condone what Trump is doing. You need to stand up. I don't like bullies. I hate bullies. And we need to insist, persist, and we need to push back and push back hard. So, I will see you guys on Friday. Sorry I was late today. I overslept this morning, which I do feel better. I really do. So, I will see you on Friday at 1 o'clock. And my chats will be 3 times a week. So, I will talk to you later. Love you all. Stay safe. Keep an eye on the sky for storms. And I think now hurricane season is starting to ramp up. So, anyway, take care. Love to all. Bye-bye.